Hi everyone, it's Sophia Melonē, the Debt Demolisher, and welcome to the Sophia Melonē Show, where we make debt freedom the new norm and wealth building the natural nature of habit. Tonight on the Sophia Melonē Show, what we're going to talk about is time management. So many times we put ourselves in a situation where we tell ourselves we don't have enough time to get certain things done. And I'm here to share with you tonight what are some things that I do to help really master my time management. That was one of the things that I would often tell myself, is that I don't have enough time to get XYZ done while working a 9-to-5, while being a caregiver, while servicing clients, while doing extracurricular activities outside of my business and outside of my home and outside of my work. I had to figure out a way to say, if I'm telling myself I don't have enough time, I need to change the way or change the conversation that I'm having with myself, because we all get 24 hours in a day. It just matters, or really it's based on what we are doing with the time that we have. So time management was always something that I struggled with. I always felt like I was overwhelmed, overconsumed, didn't have enough time in the day to get things done. And now in 2019, where I'm really focusing on strategizing on maximizing my time and maximizing my day, I just thought it would be good to share what are some things that I do to help manage and master my time management skills. So here's something interesting. I wrote out everything that I need to get done by the ending of this week. And one thing that's important to note is that we have to identify what are our activities and what are our pressing things that we have to get done in a certain time frame. So because I'm being a part of a major event at the ending of this week in California, Catalyst Community Connections is located in Stockton, California, and they are putting on a Wealth Empowerment Summit. That's major. This Wealth Empowerment Summit is headlined by Lisa Nichols, and there are going to be a host of speakers during this full all-day event. I am so grateful and honored to be one of those guest speakers. So, of course, I've been preparing for this event that's coming up this weekend. So one of the things that is on my list of things to do for this week is to make sure that I have my stuff together, right? And in addition to that, I still have to make sure that I'm preparing for the next month. So one of the things that I do to try to stay on task and stay on target with the content that I deliver on my YouTube channel, with the articles that I write on LinkedIn, with the posts that I share on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I am putting myself in a position where I'm not having to do it every day, and I'm making sure that I'm planning ahead of time. So one of the things that I like to do is utilize the last week to make sure that I have my full content mapped out for the subsequent month. So that means this week I have to make sure that I'm preparing for this event that's this weekend and getting all of my content together, outlined, mapped out for the entire month of February. So one thing that I found was interesting that I did some research on time management is I was listening to a YouTube video by Bob Proctor, and one of the things that he said is that, which was something that he learned from Earl Nightingale, is that time cannot be managed. Time cannot be managed. And I know it's interesting because we always refer to the task, or we always refer to the subject of time management, when essentially time can never be managed. What we're managing is, however, is the activities that we're doing in a day with that time, right? So what struck me the most when I heard Bob Proctor say that is that we cannot continue to use the terminology that we are managing time, because we're not. We are managing the activities, right? So what are some things that you can do to manage your activities within a day, to maximize your day? Like, if you want to increase your income, if you want to demolish debt, if you want to figure out ways of how you can create more time and create more bandwidth so you can generate more revenue, then this is something that you probably want to think about doing to assess closely how are you managing the time that you have right now, right? Or what activities are you doing within the time that you have now? So the strategy that I learned from Bob Proctor is to just make a list of your top priorities for the next day. Make sure you do this the night before, which is why I have my paper and I have my list out here right now. I have my list that I'm jotting down at least 6 things that I need to get done. Now, here's the strategy that I utilize for me because I'm an entrepreneur or parallel entrepreneur, right? So I'm building my business and I'm still working a 9-to-5. So because I know that my time is limited, right, because majority of my days throughout the week is at my 9-to-5 job, instead, I split my priorities in 2, right? So if Bob says identify 6 top priorities for your day, what I'm doing is I'm splitting my top priorities, right? So I need to identify what are my top priorities that I need to get done on my job. And then I'm listing out what are my top 3 priorities that I want to get done at home or in my business or whatever the case may be, right? Because you want to make sure that you are not overwhelming and overcrowding your schedule. So you want to stick to only mastering or accomplishing 6 things in totality. And you want to identify what those top 6 things are that you want to get done within the next day. And the trick of it is when you get through that next day, let's say you've identified your 6, tomorrow is here. By the ending of tomorrow and you're preparing for the next week, let's say if you only get through 5 of those 6 things, what you're going to do is that one thing that you didn't get done rolls over into the next day and counts as part of that 6. So instead of identifying 6 new things that you want to get done, you're only going to add on or identify 5 more things that you want to get done, right? Because you don't want to do any more than 6 top priorities in a day, whether if it be for your job or if it be for your 9-to-5, whether it be for your family, whether it be for personal, whatever it is, you want to make sure that it's 6 in totality across all of your categories. So I feel like this strategy has really worked for me so far. Again, I've just started doing this and I actually like the process because it allows me to properly plan my day, to prioritize what is it that I want to get done, why am I getting it done, and how can it create that domino effect for it to ultimately achieve or allow me to achieve the results that I want to fulfill for the entire week, right? So that is the trick on how you master your time management or manage and master the activities that you conduct throughout the day with the time that you do have. Because we all have 24 hours in a day. It's just our responsibility to figure out how we're going to use the 24 hours a day to get done what we need to get done. So we want to limit time wasters. We want to limit unnecessary activities that doesn't align with the goal that we want to achieve for that particular week. And we want to be consistent in mapping out our days and mapping out our priorities the night before. And that's what I'm doing right now, mapping out my top 6, 3 for my full-time job, and then 3 for my personal endeavors, right? We'll just name it that, personal endeavors. So I'm mapping out my 6, and I want to encourage you to try this strategy if you are someone who struggles with time management, because you will come to find out that we have more than enough time. And once you actually identify what it is that you need to get done, you will be surprised how quickly and how fast you'll be able to knock them out. So identify your tasks, identify your activities for the day, and prioritize getting done those, whatever your 6 are for the day, and whatever you don't get done, you roll it over to the next day, which doesn't add on to the 6, but it becomes a part of the 6 for the next day. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Sophia Melonē Show. I want to encourage you to make sure that you follow, make sure that you like, make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you leave a comment, and let me know if this information was valuable to you, and feel free to share it. I look forward to continuing to serve you, and remember, as always, your financial prosperity awaits you. Until next week, have a good one.